Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Bantikow, where today we're continuing on the tedding that we started last episode, and hopefully, well, by the looks of it, we will start windrowing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the biggest windrower there is in the game, rent it out, and be done with it, because the big M can only do so much. I'm going to leave the grass windows, the grass windrows for silage, because I'm going to be making baled silage for the time being at least. I'm going to leave them as is, because it's easier. I don't want to go messing around with that. They're windrowed up nicely already, courtesy of the big M's capacity for rowing up the mud material, the grass. So I have no issue with that. I do have another couple of mods. Yes, a couple of mods, and I'll actually be buying them very, very soon, because one is going to be of extreme usefulness in this map. The other is just for the sake of having another mod, really. In fact, no, I'm only going to buy one because I've just realised the other mod, the capacity of it is so small that I'll just end up making a mess everywhere. So scratch that idea. Changed my mind. Only going to buy one of the two mods. The second one I was only really going to rent anyway. I was going to get a baler that it is in the mod list. I will be keeping it. It is a good baler, but it's just a bit small for this map. The other mod is because I went looking for trailers that can hold seeds. Not overloader trailers. I think the overloader trailer they have, the Brantner, is actually a decent size for what it does. It's a reasonable size. But I wanted a trailer that I could put seeds into, especially on this map because there is a seed storage area at the farm. I wanted a trailer I could throw seeds into from the seed production thingy and dump it into the seed holding pen in the farm. Now none of the default trailers would do that, so I had to look for a mod. I don't mind that. I could have edited a trailer, I know that. Didn't want to, but it was an option open to me. But I found a Krone Emsland, an ROS Krone Emsland. There we go. I can speak English, kind of German actually. Weren't in English there, but what it does, it can hold pretty much all the fill types I have. It does work with the multi-fruit mod as well, so it can hold whatever I need it to hold, it will hold. And the seeds go into nice bags and stuff, so it's all pretty. I think it can hold fertilizer too, so I can take the fertilizer out of the seed production thingy and store that as well if I need to. So that is all the windrowing done. Not windrowing, tedding. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be cheeky and get somebody to pick it up. Where is it? There we go. Return that. There we go. And get the Swadro 2000 for an hour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just reset that. And reset. It should be good. I'm resetting as little as I can, but I don't mind resetting the stuff I've rented, because I see that as it being delivered direct to the farm. Whoa, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick that up, and we're going to start windrowing with the Swadro 2000, which is huge. and should make some nice windrows. The reason I'm using the Fendt 724 is because I like the Fendt 724. Simple as that. It's a tractor that I like. I have mentioned I've seen one of these relatively recently passing by, and I like it. Of late, and of late meaning literally this morning, a new Holland TM120 was going up and down. It's been doing this for the last few days. It's fertilizing season, or fertilizing. Good period for fertilizing grass and crops with pellets at the moment, because there's relatively good chance of rain at any given time. So a lot of farmers are out with their pellet spreaders, putting out fertilizer and pushing. English. How do I do it? Let me start off. The farmers are out spreading pellets. Yes, I got that much out. A tractor I've seen going up and down past my house, because, like I said, there's a lot of farmland in the area. Ireland is primarily farmland, so it's what you'd expect to see. I've seen with a lovely little red pellet spreader going up and down past my house a New Holland TM120. Rather pretty little tractor, I must say. Kind of wish there was a mod for it now. But there isn't, so oh well. Now, one thing I meant to say in the last episode, I didn't, but I'm gonna say it now. NI Modding last night for me released a statement, an announcement, whatever you want to call it, basically explaining why they have dropped off the radar of late. And the reason is very sad. Henley 20, I believe it was. Hopefully I'm not saying this about somebody who's not true, but I think it's Henley 20, one of the founding members of NI Modding, unfortunately passed away, and his brother Alwyn was understandably upset, and the entire team basically shut down operations for the past, they've been saying, pretty much a year. More or less a year. Henley 20 was apparently one of their top members. And you know, it's very sad news, and dang it, very sad news, and my thoughts go out to NI Modding and the friends and family of Henley. So yeah, I feel kind of bad as well for calling NI Modding out for not releasing mods. I must say, that's how it is. At the end of the day, it's Giant's fault because there's no modding documentation out. So, still gonna blame it on Giants. So, here we go with the ridiculous windrower of doom, because I want the baling to be a bit easier. He says as he misses large swaths. Swaths sounds wrong. Oh well. So, the windrower of doom is dooming its windrows to being windrowed, I suppose. It's collecting up a lot of the hay. I almost said straw. No, this is one of the occasions where hay is the correct word. And it really, that is one thing that really grinds my gears, is when people see straw bales. And this happened last year when, I don't know if I mentioned it on the channel before. Cannonball Run was around where I live last year, and the local farmers they made small straw bales, presumably for the use of horses. They put small straw bales down the streets to, you know, keep people off the roads and make the town look a bit prettier. It was used for. They were used for the soapbox derby that also happened. That was amazing. But people, everyone called them hay bales, and I was just sat on top of one, say, "No, does this look like dried grass to you? Have you ever seen dried grass that looks like this? This is a straw bale. It is quite clearly straw. If you ever see grass like this, be very, very worried, because it is definitely not grass. And probably contains snakes or Australia or something, I don't know." But yeah, it just really, really gets on my nerves, because I'm always correcting people when they get it wrong, despite not being a farmer. Way. That's why I'm try to be careful about calling straw bales and hay bales. At least when I can. If I don't know the difference, I'll just say a bale. A bale of literally something, please. So I haven't really mentioned this, but over the last couple of weeks I have had headaches on a near constant basis. They've just been this throbbing pain in my right temple, and I discovered a couple of days ago, or I realised a couple of days ago, oh my god, what the cause of these headaches actually was. And somewhat comically, it's not something that I've done that's caused them, it's something that I've stopped doing. Which I suppose, technically speaking, is something that I've done. But as you know, if you watched some of my older videos, I know the channel's not that old, but some of my earlier videos, you'll know that, traditionally speaking, for me, I had a can of Coke sat beside me at all times. When I'm recording, and, you know, I take a swig from the can of Coke every so often. And about 2 weeks ago, I stopped drinking Coke and Diet Coke and Pepsi Max and whatever. I still have, you know, the odd can or bottle. I actually have a bottle of Coke sat beside me today. Well, on the other side from my flavoured water. But I realised a couple of days ago that the headaches I've been getting only really started after I gave up Diet Coke, after I stopped drinking Coke. That'll windrow most of it, it'll do. So, yeah, apparently I always made a joke that I was addicted to Coke. Didn't realise I actually was, because, for those of you who don't know, throbbing headaches and mild migraines, which is what I had, I didn't need to go to a doctor to figure that out. They're probably 70 to 80% of the time found when you have withdrawal symptoms from something, and you only really get withdrawal symptoms from something if your body is reliant on it. When your body is reliant on something, it is called an addiction, because it's something you can't control. Now, normally with an addiction, you can't just say, "Oh, well, I'm done. Gonna do this instead." Now, well, you can. It's called replacement. What I've done is I've started drinking a lot of flavoured water instead of a lot of Coke, which, as far as I'm aware, flavoured water is healthier. And I've been told my energy levels have noticeably increased. I'm doing a lot more, which is nice. It's nice to do. Yeah, it's nice to have more energy. I think I'm sleeping better as well, because I only got like 5 hours sleep the last 2 nights in a row, and well, I'm not falling asleep here, so I'm gonna guess I've got a bit more energy than I used to. It's just a guess. I could in fact be dreaming all of this, but my knee is sore, so I'm probably not. I have to unlock my knee. Hopefully not kick anything out of place. Oh my god, that's sore. Ooh, ooh. God, that's sore. Yeah. So, 15 minutes in. Good. My attention span seems to have improved as well, which is nice. I don't think I'm not high on caffeine most of the time anymore, so it's nice to have an attention span of a relatively normal, though slightly insane human being. And I'll always be insane, probably. It's just something that is me, in a nutshell. So let's raise up that. These two windows are going to be really close together, actually. So, I already know what I'm doing next around the map here. I know what my plans are for the next, well, little while. I don't know if it'll be a few episodes or just me deciding to do it off screen instead. But I'm going to do... words. I am going to record a third episode today. This is the second episode I've recorded today. I'm going to record a third episode yet again. It's going well. I'm feeling good as well. Normally after 2 episodes I feel like I can't talk, which arguably is happening because my throat is dry as a desert. But that's my problem, not yours, and I'm going to just push on. See how dry I can get it now. I'm going to have a drink of... water's closer at hand. I'm going to have a drink of water in a second. So I'm going to go quiet in a moment's time. I'll have some water. And then I'll be fine. What else has been happening in the mad world of reality? Oh, yes, that happened. The German Wings plane that went down. Now, I only spoke about it the other day. I think the episode's going live the day that I'm recording this. Either that or tomorrow, or it could have been yesterday, I don't know. But I spoke about that the day that it happened. And since then, more information's come to light, and on Wednesday, I was talking to my parents. We were watching Sky News or something, and they're showing the publicly available information from Flight Radar 24/7, which kind of unofficially tracks flights around Europe and around the world. And what the information showed was, and I'm pretty sure if you follow the news you all know what's happened by now, but what the information showed was the airplane ascended as normal. It was kind of a step ascent, which is relatively normal for commercial airliners. Got up to the cruising altitude of 38,000 feet or 12,000 meters, 12 kilometers, and then, and this is where it got a bit weird looking at it on Tuesday and Wednesday when the information was there. Then it descended at a steady rate from 38,000 feet to its doom, or 34,000 feet, however high it was. If the plane had lost control, which as it turned out it hadn't, and I was correct in thinking this, if the plane had lost control, the pilots would have had some semblance of control, and what you would have seen was the plane going kind of down very quickly, then leveling off, and then down very quickly, then leveling off, and maybe going up a bit, and then down very quickly, because they were struggling for control. And there would have been something that was kind of... something would have definitely looked wrong. Which is strange, because, steady descent looks perfectly fine, except when it ends in a mountain. In that situation, the steady descent actually looked wrong. It was a perfect descent, which as soon as I saw that, I said, there is no pilot error in that crash. Either something went wrong with the flight management computer, the FMC, or something went horribly wrong with the plane. Now, as it turned out, I was... yeah, I hate to say this. So, as it turned out, I was half right. There was an issue with the FMC, and there was no pilot error as such. What happened was, the co-pilot decided he wanted to be part of a murder-suicide. The pilot stepped out of the... out of the pilot zone, which I can't remember the name of, out of the cockpit, there we go, the pilot zone, and presumably to go to the toilet, which is quite normal. Co-pilot was left alone, which in Europe is relatively normal. No airline up until then had any rules saying, oh well, you know, in America there has to be 2 people in the cockpit at all times, which means that if the pilot goes to the toilet, a flight attendant jumps into the cockpit and pretends to fly the plane and goes, woo, I'm a pilot. At least that's what I hope happens. But in Europe there was no such rule, so the pilot could just go to the toilet, leave the co-pilot alone, and under normal circumstances the pilot would knock on the door of the cockpit, give the cockpit password, which is a thing for security reasons, and the co-pilot would open the door and there'd be no issue at all. What actually happened was the pilot got up, went to the toilet, the co-pilot locked the door of the cockpit and told the flight management computer to descend steadily to whatever altitude he chose, which was probably like 4,000 or 5,000 feet, because he knew there was a mountain that was 6,000 feet coming up in France, and that was his chance to commit suicide. Now, as it turned out, that the co-pilot had some fairly serious mental issues, such as depression, and probably shouldn't have been in a position of such responsibility. There's going to be very big questions asked about that. But realistically speaking, what caused the crash wasn't the co-pilot. What caused the crash, and this is where the real problem is, the cause of the crash was the rules that were brought in post 9/11 to stop terrorists from taking over a plane, whereby the cockpit must be locked. That sounds strange, a security measure causing a crash, but it's, you know, it's happened before and it'll happen again, where a security measure brought in good faith will backfire and ruin itself. You know, the cockpit has to be able to be locked, just in case there is some crazed terrorist on the plane that wants to get in. Co-pilot and pilot can lock it, bulletproof door, they're fine. Problem, you know, crisis averted. But there has to be a fail-safe, and in that rule there's not. In that rule, it states the cockpit has to be locked so that it can't be accessed. Yeah, from the outside, which does prevent outside problems, such as a crazed terrorist getting into the cockpit. Where the problem is what if the problem person is already in the cockpit? What if, for example, and this is what happened, what happens if the co-pilot wants to top himself? That's not accounted for in the rules. You know, the co-pilot was suicidal, he had a history of depression, as it turns out, and that probably contributed to his decision to drive the plane into a mountain. But the rules were the real problem is the rules, because the pilot was locked out. He tried to get into the cockpit. He tried to break down the door, which is the single best thing I've heard. You know, this guy knows he's probably dead because the plane was going down and there probably wasn't a whole hell of a lot he could do to avert it. But in his final moments, he did his damnedest to save as many lives as he could by trying to get the co-pilot to open the door and trying to get back into the cockpit. And I brought up 9/11 earlier. Really, Flight 93 comes to mind, where the passengers on Flight 93 overpowered the terrorists that had hijacked the plane. The passengers then hijacked the plane back off the terrorists, and because the plane was already going down or whatever, the passengers re-hijacked the plane in its final moments and crashed into a field in Pennsylvania, killing exactly all of them. I mean, I know it's a horrible thing to talk about, but if this is the strange thing about human nature, and I'm not speaking from experience here, I'm speaking from what I've seen and what I know. There's no experience here. Human nature is you want to preserve your own life. And the guys on board Flight 93, the pilot on board the Germanwings plane, they were boned. They were dead no matter what happened. Flight 93, the passengers decided, well, nuts to this, we're dead either way. Let's do damage limitation. We're all already dead. Our lives are over. Let's try and save as many lives on the ground as we can. Let's crash into a field instead of into the White House or the Capitol building, which is apparently what the plan was. That's heroic. That's actually real life superhero. I'm just gonna return this, and yeah, that's carriage, please. There we go. Return. In fact, I'm gonna stop talking because I just looked at the time and we're running a bit over. TLDR: pilot is hero, co-pilot is douchebag. I'm getting this coon bailer for 3 hours. Hopefully that's enough time. I'm also gonna have to rent this for. In fact, no, I won't rent them yet. I'll just do the bailing. So I'm gonna leave it here. I'll drive up to the shop, get the baler, and start bailing in the next episode. I've been Rainbow Dave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 15 on Bantikow, where my framing issues have been solved. In the next episode, we will be doing baling of the grass on meadows 1 and 2. At least I think that's what Visa is, meadow. Grassland, whatever. We're doing baling of the grass up there. Until then, stay safe, and goodbye!